There we go. Now we're connected. There's always a delay between the start of the recording and the time that it's actually recording the video and the audio. So sometimes my first words get cut off. Let me just hook up the iPad here. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Let me turn down the volume. That test pass. Let me turn down the volume. Okay. My notes. Hey, Donna. Hey, Julie. I'm doing all right. Hey, Rita. You know, I wasn't going to go live tonight, but I went down another YouTube rabbit hole, a YouTuber named The Lifeboat. So let me give it a few minutes and get some people in here, get it going. My channel's not like huge, so it's very small actually, so it takes a while to get people to come in. And it's a little late too on the East Coast. It's early out here, 6:48 in Los Angeles. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, my mod's not here tonight, so it's just gonna be us. As my old nanny used to say, just us chickens. And I always say I don't plan on going on so long, so let's try to keep it to that. 8:48 where you're at, Donna. Glad to hear it. You're doing well here. Thank you. And I'm glad you're doing well, Julie. Yeah, I only see 4 people, and one of them's my iPad, so I think there's just me, myself, and I, and Julie, Rita, and Donna. Let's give it a few more minutes. Hey, 5 people. Well, thanks for the thumbs up. I haven't even started yet. Thank you. Appreciate that. It really does help the algorithm. I believe so. But hey, what do I know? I only have 2,000 followers. And no makeup tonight. Did wash my face and moisturize today and put on a little lipstick and brush my teeth a couple times. That's good to know, Rita. Yeah, this is just an interesting thing that another viewer that came in my live yesterday suggested that I take a look at. And so far I've seen part 1 of this story, but not part 2. It was about an hour long. I think the second part is like an hour and a half, so it's kind of interesting. I hadn't seen this guy before. Wow. Hardly anybody here. Where is everybody? Can you guys hear music in the background? It seems like a neighbor's got like a stereo going or something. And someone in this building was just smoking a little Mary J because I could smell it. And I'm like, oh no. You can hear it slightly. Yeah, I don't want to get a copyright. Let me listen on the iPad, because I might have to shut the window. I hear myself echoing. Well, hopefully they turned it off. Okay, 16 people. Let's get it going. I'm April Davis, PI. This is regarding the Nancy Guthrie missing persons case. It is day number 37. And somebody came in last night. Oh, thank you, Julie, for letting me know. Someone came in. I can't remember the name of the viewer, but I want to thank him or her. Told me to watch a channel called The Lifeboat. Never heard of the guy before. I think his name is Tommy, and he's a former bank robber, former criminal, self-admitted. Hey, Boston Bill. Interesting guy, an interesting perspective. And it's funny, some of the things that he said that I kind of tend to agree with. He said the prime suspect is always the person that was last to see her. Yes. Of course, he's not accusing anybody, as I am not, of being guilty or being involved. But yeah, in his mind, the prime suspect is Tommaso Cioni, simply because he was the last person to see her. He also agreed, whoa, 50 people! Can we get a thumbs up here? And some red hearts to double tap that screen. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you so much for coming in, everybody. This guy, it's pretty funny, actually. Especially he's an admitted lifelong criminal or former criminal. He said he's I guess a convicted bank robber. And he used to be involved with drug running or something. So basically he thinks he's pretty well suited with his background to express his opinions on these true crime cases. And he brought up something that I hadn't even really gone down that rabbit hole regarding Wiccans and witches and the whole Derek. I've been calling him Derek Kelsa, but he was calling him Derek Kelsa, or Kelsa. Yeah, Derek Kelsa. That would be the Spanish pronunciation. The guy that got arrested here in Los Angeles County. And he talked about this DJ. Someone briefly talked about it last night in my chat on my live. This guy says that this mojito, which is spelled M-I, but not like the drink mojito, but it's mojito. He's a DJ and a band promoter in Tucson. And that he promotes this Derek Kelsa that was arrested here in Los Angeles County. Apparently he's in one of these dark bands. It's called Secret Mutilator. I saw it the day that he was arrested, and it was just like, it was creepy. And that he also talks about Tommaso Cioni's band, Early Dark. And even though he doesn't think they've ever played together, he can't find a record of them playing together, that they do have the same Tucson area promoter, this mojito. And that this mojito fellow, and this is just what this guy is saying. These are not, I'm not saying that any of this is true because I don't know this guy, but he's connected to a fetish cult. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. That he is connected to a fetish cult, and that he promotes both Derek Kelsa's band and Tommaso's Cioni's band, which he calls him Tomato. And I've heard that on several other stations, people calling him Tomato. Pretty funny. And he also talks about, Mima, I've missed you so much. Okay, I haven't seen you before. Hi, Pat. He talks about this woman and this man that came out. They're like these goth characters that came out to Nancy's house to do like a photo shoot, but they weren't like dressed like they were coming to respect someone, coming to lay flowers, coming to say, let's pray for Nancy. That they came in these goth outfits, and he showed a picture of these two. I hadn't seen that. And that this woman, whoever she is like a goth porn star, and that she is connected to this fetish, let's try that again, fetish cult. And they have proof that Kayla Day, remember the woman who got arrested allegedly with Luke Daly back in last May in Marana, that Kayla Day, she is a body piercer, and that she's also involved in this cult, and that this guy, Mojito, he puts on these what's called fetish balls. I don't even want to go there, but there's people that are into this, and they go to these fetish cult balls, and that Kayla is a member, and she's friends with the porn star goth gal that was out with her boyfriend doing a photo shoot, and that they're all connected to this DJ Mojito, who is a promoter for Derek Kaye's band, Secret Mutilator, and a promoter, excuse me, I keep looking away, but I'm looking at my notes. He also promotes Tommaso Sione's band. And he is aware that Derek Kayeya, the day he was arrested, he did immediately admit guilt. And he doesn't think that he was involved in the actual crime, even though he did have Annie and Tommaso's private cell number. He sent the copycat ransom text saying, hey, what about my Bitcoin? And apparently he confessed immediately. And if he was connected to the crime in any way other than demanding money, that he probably would have rolled over on the others involved immediately. And I said this all along, that the first person that gets arrested in this for real, if connected to the actual disappearance, will sing like a bird to cut a deal. And this didn't happen unless they're just holding that secret right now. But if he did cut some sort of a deal, there probably would have already been other arrests by the Federal Bureau of Investigation by now. And I kind of agree with that. Does he know Annie and Tommaso? We don't know. But this Derek, who has this band, this Secret Mutilator, which is like gothic punk or something. It's very weird. It's very dark. He's promoted by the same DJ as Tommaso Sione's band, and that all of these characters that I just named are part of some fetish cult that Kayla is a member of, and that this goth porn star is a member of. And could that be connected to her disappearance? And he didn't say that it was, he didn't say that it wasn't, but he did point out that a lot of these connections are somewhat of a coincidence. And in my career, as a PI, I've learned that there are no coincidences. And since this guy, he is an admitted criminal, former criminal, reformed criminal, and former bank robber, former drug runner, he talks about it, being a decoy at the border while he's in a group of men that are running drugs. He thinks that these coincidences are a little too coincidental, that it's definitely something to look into. Which brings me back to square one, that, I'm still looking at certain people as prime suspects. I really hate to think that this missing person, Nancy, could have been abducted and sacrificed, basically. That's just so gross. They were even talking about burn boxes. I didn't even know what that was. It's a way to cremate a body that's not in a crematorium. Apparently these things happen with these Satanists or these occult groups. It's weird to me. This whole thing is weird. I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole at all. I will watch this guy's video part 2 just to see what he has to say. If you guys are interested, I don't know the guy, never heard of him until yesterday. The channel name is The Lifeboat. It's on YouTube. I did agree with him, especially since he's a former criminal and I'm an active detective, although mostly retired, that the cell jammer, if it had been activated at Nancy's house the moment that the guy came to the door, that they wouldn't have been able to, Google would not have been able to get that video from the Nest door cam out of the cloud. I totally agree with that. It is kind of odd that the neighbor that's quite behind her house, that their back cameras went down for several minutes. There may be other neighbors on the street whose cameras may or may not have gone down at the same time. but the fact that the guy is standing right there, the ski mask guy, the balaclava guy, the grass in the bushes guy, you know, he was picked up in the cloud, and Google was able to get that. And you know, the jammers, they don't go very far. They only go so many feet apparently. I don't know. I've never used one because even though I'm a detective, I'm not a criminal. So I would never carry something like that. You can look them up on like Amazon. Amazon sells them. I'm not sure why, because it's illegal to even possess such a device. You can do a mandatory prison sentence for even being caught with something like that. Hi, Sokal. Hi, Faiza. Oh, we don't talk about age. Oh, hey, Mandy Scandy. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, honey? Thank you. Thank you for coming in. I'm just doing a recap on the latest on the Nancy Guthrie case, who has now been missing for 37 days. Yeah, we're already in the second day of week 6. Okay, I have to do my administrative duty since my mods are not here. Okay, I had to put somebody in timeout. Hey, thank you, Julie. I can't wait to get my hours up and reapply for that monetization so that when these jokers come in, before I, like, you know, hit the pause button on them, that, you know, I'll make a few pennies off of them because it's engagement. Anyway, I agree with what he said about the cell jammer. I'm not saying that they didn't use a cell jammer in this crime, but it doesn't make any sense that that walkie-talkie looking item in his pocket would be a cell jammer, because if it was, it wasn't turned on, because it wouldn't have been able to get that video out of the cloud. And he did make a good point that most of these doorbells, I know with my doorbell, but mine's a Ring, not an S, that they also record audio. And he wondered if they were able to, retrieve that audio. That's a very good question. But, you know, this guy, you know, he is a former, you know, reformed criminal, former bank robber. So, you know, he thinks like a criminal. And as a detective, I always try to put my mind into their shoes and go, okay, if I were this person, especially with stalking cases, if I was the stalker, what would be my next move? If I was committing this insurance fraud, what's going to be my next move? And what's going to be my mistake that's going to get me caught? So I agree with his belief that it's not a burglary, because most burglars, they show up in the daytime. And I know Ashley Banfield had someone on about a South American theft gang, and they usually don't hit in the middle of the night. I don't believe that at all. And I'm not saying that she did. She just interviewed somebody who, you know, kind of brought her up to speed on that possibility. Another thing, I almost hate to mention this here because I don't know anything about this. I wouldn't say it's a religion, but they're saying that Annie and Tommaso, I'm just hearing this like on the internet when I say they, that Annie and Tommaso, or Annie, that they're Wiccans. And I'm like, what? You know, I had to actually research that, because does that mean witch? They're affiliated with pagans, but they're not Satanists, but they believe in like black magic and curses and spells, and that supposedly Annie Guthrie, who is Savannah Guthrie's sister, the daughter of the woman that disappeared, that she may be involved in that. And, you know, I'm not going to say for sure because I've never met these people, but that's starting to come out lately too. And that's just like, this is getting so messed up. Yes, Bill, this case is ridiculous. It's so messed up, you know, and I'm not saying that anybody's guilty. I'm not going to accuse anybody on my channel until, you know, proven guilty in a court of law. Even if somebody gets arrested, I still will not know if they're guilty. You know, I don't understand why people come and stand right in front of my door and talk on their speakerphones. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Sometimes it goes on for hours, and I just want to go out there and strangle them. Like, what are you doing? this is weird. This whole thing is weird. I mean, look at Savannah. She went to law school and, you know, now she's a reporter and she's the co-host of the Today Show. You know, she's making $8 million a year, minimally, not including her husband's salary. But her sister's a freaking poet who may be involved in this Wiccan group, this witch cult. Like, what the holy hell? I mean, I knew that her brother, or her husband, who now people are calling him Tomato, or they're calling him Long Neck because of his beard, which, by the way, he has shortened since all this happened. He's been seen once. So, you know, I just don't like their appearances. I don't like their body language, that they're trying to hide, that they seem embarrassed or ashamed about something. And I don't mean that they had anything to do with the mother's disappearance, but this is so wrong, worst law enforcement ever. Well, yeah, I agree with that as far as Pima County Sheriff, because they should have never unsecured the scene. Especially when the next day, the first ransom came in to one of the TV stations, and then the following day, the same note came into TMZ. So I think the police were aware pretty early on that this was either a kidnapping or something made to look like a kidnapping, like a red herring. But because there was a ransom and there was something in there that pointed out to something in the house regarding the Apple Watch, they very quickly got the FBI involved. But they had already unsecured the house in the first 20 hours. So, and people are saying that this sheriff, Nanos, who people are calling Bananos, that he is, he seems to have become very friendly with the Guthrie family and Annie and Tommaso, and he gets so almost teary-eyed that they're just being harassed. And, you know, everybody is a suspect until proven guilty. Everybody. And I do agree with this former reformed criminal, former bank robber dude, that as soon as they just catch one person that's connected to these group of yahoos, that person can, you know, turn state's evidence very quickly on the others in the group, and all the dominoes will fall, and that person will be either given immunity or probably less time. Like, hey, instead of getting the death penalty, you're going to get, you know, X amount of years instead of this amount of years. And that's how it works. That's how it works in the judicial system, especially in groups. You know, somebody that's involved, they're, in some states they call it an accessory. In California, they call it a principal. And in California, a principal is just as guilty. So if you're part of a bank robber group and you're not actually the person that goes in and robs the bank, but you're driving the getaway car out in the parking lot, or you conspired to commit this crime with them, you're equally as guilty. If somebody gets shot and killed during the bank robbery, you're going to get charged for murder too, even though you weren't even in the bank. You were just driving the getaway car, or you were the one that was, you know, making the plans, or you might have gone and done some advanced intel at that bank. You know, everybody's equally as guilty. But the first one that sings like a canary will get the best deal. So he's not saying that this fetish, I got to be very careful, letter S, as in Sam, cult, that they're involved in this, but that all of these people on paper, and in reality, Derek Calleja and Tommaso Cioni, who may or may not even know each other, have a connection through their band promoter, Mojito. And he said it's Mojito with an I. I heard about this yesterday, not mojito like the drink, but this guy, he's involved with the band, The Secret Mutilator, that's Derek's, and he's also promoter for Early Dark, which is Tommaso's. And remember, Dominic Evans, who is also a convicted felon, is apparently the drummer in Tommaso's band. Now, I don't know if they're still together. When was the last time they performed? Apparently, they have not performed in the same venue with Secret Mutilator, but they have the same local Tucson promoter. And that guy is somehow allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, involved in this fetish ring where they have these fetish balls, and this alleged goth porn star who came out with her boyfriend, or a male friend, posing in front of Nancy's house dressed in really weird clothes, very provocative. It was very uncool, very disrespectful. That they're friends with Kayla, and you know how Kayla got involved, and you know it's just, you know, and Kayla's supposedly involved with Luke, but Luke says he's not involved with her and that's not his girlfriend, yada yada yada. But if you connect the dots, that it could lean in a certain direction. Julie says, so are they being investigated? Well, we know that Annie and Tommaso have been investigated for the majority of the time, because I think their car was taken within the first week, and we're into week 6, and they don't have their car back yet, because their car is a piece of evidence in an active criminal investigation. Thank you, whoever's hitting the smiley faces. I hope you guys hit that like button, that thumbs up button, and it also helps with the red hearts, the smiley faces, anything that you have access to on your screen. Thank you if you subscribed. I hit my 2K subscriber mark yesterday. I appreciate all of you. I wasn't going to do this today, but you know, this viewer yesterday, you know, enlightened me on this situation that he learned through this other YouTuber who's way more successful than I am. It's funny, I spent my whole life fighting crime, and I guess this guy spent some of his adulthood committing crimes. And now he has a very, very successful YouTube channel. And apparently he talks about other true crime stories. Kind of interesting. Yeah, and of course, you know, he's monetized and his super chats are turned on. And oh, speaking of that, thank you to my mod who's not here tonight, Kelly. I did receive your fourth $1 donation via Cash App. Thank you so much. It's kind of a running joke right now, but you know, thank you so much. Oh, there you are, Kelly. Hey, can't talk, trying out mask and doing sleep study. We'll leave it on, but can't be active. Yeah, I was just thanking you, in case you watched on the playback, that I did get your fourth Cash App last night. Thank you so much. Yeah, that all started out because when I had a Sunday live a couple Sundays ago, it turned out that there was over 3,000 people that came in during that live, and I was like, wow, if every one of those people just sent me $1, I could pay a whole year's worth of pharmacy bills and some of my ambulance bills just in one swoop, you know. And then she was like, hey, here's your first $1. And then she sent me a second one, and then I think a third one, and it just said goofy. One said LOL, you know, laugh out loud. I call it lots of laughs. And then goofy, and you know, just these funny little messages. But I do appreciate that, Kelly. I know you're listening in the background while you're at your appointment. Hi, Kelly Ann Sullivan. Welcome in. Yeah, you may have to watch some of this on the playback. I just spent about the first 25 minutes talking about this YouTube channel that somebody recommended during yesterday's live called The Lifeboat. And I watched the guy today. I watched part 1. It's a 2-part live stream, but I watched part 1 where the guy goes down the fetish cult rabbit hole. And he talks about Derek Kaya, the DJ Mojito, Derek's band Secret Mutilator, and Tommaso Sione's band Early Dark. He calls him Tomato. I thought that was really funny. But a lot of people are calling him Tomato. And then also this goth porn star that arrived to take pictures with a guy in front of Nancy's house, and how they're connected to these fetish balls, and they're connected to Kayla Day, who apparently is possibly a tattoo artist or a body piercer in the Tucson area. I haven't checked lately to see if she's still incarcerated. Somebody had sent me a message saying that she cut a deal a while back, but I haven't checked the lineup to see if she's still currently incarcerated in Pima County Jail. We also talked a little bit about the cell jammers, and I kind of agreed with what this guy said. And obviously, him being a former reformed criminal, he knew more about the cell jammers than I do. He doesn't believe Derek Kelsa is directly involved in this case, other than just making the text, the copycat text that he sent to Annie and Tommaso, demanding like, "Hey, where's my Bitcoin?" And apparently, he used a VoIP line, which is Voice over Internet Protocol, and those are traceable. So I guess the guy's just, he's not too bright. And apparently he was just getting ready to go to trial here in LA County because he worked for either the county or the state, and he had something to do with the pandemic EDD payments. And apparently he's been accused of, I guess, misappropriating funds or possibly stealing funds, and that his trial for fraud was just getting ready to come forward when this happened. These copycat ransom texts saying, "Hey, what about my Bitcoin?" And he got arrested like that because Tommaso and Annie turned those texts over to the FBI. And, you know, I'm surprised they got those texts because I thought they had already turned their phones over. You know, when they took their car and they took over their house for, 3+ weeks, I thought they would have taken their phones immediately. So, who knows? Like, he's not saying that the two know each other, but they both have these really dark Gothic type bands that are promoted by the same DJ in Tucson, this Mojito character. So it's all kind of interesting. I'm going to be interested, I think later tonight. I'm just going to lay back and rest, and I'm going to listen to the part 2 on it to see, it's just interesting to know how some of these people may or may not be connected. I don't know. Have you guys heard about this, or did any of you watching now, were you in the live yesterday? It takes a while. It takes a couple days for the chat to upload. I guess you can see the video right away after I exit the live stream, but you can't see the chat until it processes by YouTube. And there was some new user, I don't think he had been a viewer before. I can't even remember if it was a guy or a girl, but somebody came in and said, you should check out this channel called The Lifeboat, and you should check out the Fetish S cult ring group, whatever you want to call them. It's just something to talk about with this case because I saw the street today on another YouTube channel, and there's just there was nothing going on at the Guthrie house today. Just absolutely nothing. It still bothers me too that there doesn't seem to be people representing the police department or any search and rescue groups. I don't see people out looking for her, but I'm not in the area, so I could be totally wrong, and these guys could be out, boots on the ground every day, but I'm not hearing anything about that they're checking the local lakes or the caves or the desert. And now, this guy put in, somebody in his chat was talking about how they have these groups that they take people for sacrifices and they burn them out in the desert in something called a burn box. I've been a detective for 42 years and I never heard that term before, burn box. I was like, whoa, this, and you never know at all. There's always something new to learn in this line of work, but I'd never heard that before. And they're like, oh, would they take an 84-year-old woman and put her in a burn box? Come on. I still think we have to go back to square one, that it's either somebody who's out to get Savannah or to get money, or it's someone that knew her, whether it's a family member, a neighbor, a member of her household employees, a vendor that may come to the house to do work on the property. I think it's someone who knows her bank accounts. I'm just going to leave it at that. Someone who is in need of money, whether it's drugs, whether it's debt, whether it's gambling debts, Unless it's, you know, let's go down the conspiracy rabbit hole here that you have to look at Savannah's husband and some of his connections. But, you know, that's just going way off the deep end. Anything is possible at this time. Let's just stick to what we know. If I ever say something on this channel and I find out later that I've misspoken, I'll tell you in the next live, or I'll put it, always look at my comments, because I'll pin comments. And I'll say, hey, I mispronounced this word, or I said this, but I was trying to say daily and then day, but I called everybody day. And I'll put it in the comments and I'll pin it. The other day I was doing my mail call video and I called the koozie that Jason E. Miner sent me, I called it a koozie. Like, what? Where did that even come from? What is a koozie? It's a koozie. K-O-Z-Z-I-E. So I put that in the comments and I pinned it. Like, I knew what it was, but it just, the words come out wrong. Sometimes there's distractions. Just as people going through the lobby and somebody's music playing and I forgot to turn the volume down on my desktop, and every time I get an email, I'm hearing that little ding ding, you know. Things happen. I try my best, you know. This guy, this life boat YouTuber, he's a reformed former criminal, and he's got, like, I think over 30,000 subs. This guy obviously knows how to do YouTube better than I know. People are watching him. This guy's making money off his channel, you know. I've received $9 in the past week to 10 days. And not for views. So you guys keep watching the videos. Go to the channel links if you wish. If you want to talk about something private, you can also send an email at aprildavispi@gmail.com, and I will not read those emails out loud unless you want me to. If you want to send something to the mailing address, if you want to, you know, throw $1 at me, unless you say that it's okay to talk about it, I won't. Julie, we just have to share and get your channel link out. Absolutely. And, you know, once I have enough hours, you know, I've been checking them every day now. I should have been writing it down from the beginning when I started this. I'll gain, you know, 50 to 100 hours a day, but then they take the last day off. And it's like, well, that's only a 50-hour difference or a 40-hour difference. You know, yeah, I had more hours yesterday than I had 365 days ago, but those hours on day 365 now is day 366 and falls off. So like today's day is another day, and then the last day. They only count it for a year. And you can watch videos from when I started this channel. The views will count, but YouTube only counts the viewership for the last 365 days. And it's constantly recalculating every 24 hours. And they're also 4 to 5 days behind, because they have to go through it and make sure, like, these are real views and these are not bots. And it's, you know, and some people promote their videos, but promoted views on promoted videos, they don't count for views. So that's not going to help me, because I already thought of that. Like, oh, maybe I should promote some videos. It doesn't pay for views. So that would just be stupid. And I want to grow my channel organically. And I never meant to be monetized, but just this week, you know, after one of my lives, my foot got tangled up in the cords and my phone flipped over. And I lost my mics, I lost my receiver, I lost my adapter. The last 2 days I've been having problems charging this phone. It keeps saying that it's shutting down because it's overheating. This phone was just replaced probably less than a year ago from Apple. So I'm getting worried that this phone's going to go down. And, you know, how much is that going to cost? You know, like, I just can't keep having these things happen over and over and over. I mean, somebody could send me a $6,000-7,000 donation, and it would simply just reimburse all the money I've spent over the last 6 years. It's not cheap to do this. And I still need new mics. I need more expensive mics. I need a new desktop mic. I need a new camera. I need a better tripod. My ring lamp is together with shipping tape, you know. It's just little things like that. So thank you, everybody that's you know, sharing my videos, watching my videos. I know several of my viewers have my videos on loop, so thank you so much. Oh, hi, Tamira Houston. Welcome in. Tube, you can do it. I hope so. And I agree with Julie. We just have to share and get your channel link out. Absolutely. And make sure you're watching my long form content. I've only made about 4 in the last couple of months, but I'm better than all of you. Better at what, 100? Driven Disciple has sent me. Oh, geez. Well, 100, you're going to have to take a time out for today. Let's see. Here we go. See ya. I hit the wrong button. I hit the hidden button when I was trying to hit the timeout button. Yeah, my mod is unable to cooperate, or not, she was unable to participate tonight. And she did come in to say she was in her study. Oh, good morning. Well, good evening from Los Angeles. And there goes the email again on the computer. God, that's driving me nuts. There's always something I forget to do, like, oh, I forgot to grab my mic, or I forgot to upload my thumbnail. Did I do that? Did I upload my thumbnail? Is that even in here? I'll have to find out. It's in the phone. I did it with Cam. Yeah, I did upload the thumbnail. Sometimes I'll forget to upload that, or I'll forget to turn off. I'll forget to turn on Do Not Disturb. And so anyway, so what's shaking in Dubai? Epic handle name. Yeah, I'm already 42 minutes into this epic, so you may have to watch this video on the playback once this is done to catch up with, you know, what we've talked about here. It's day 2 of week 6, and it's day 37 in the missing Nancy Guthrie saga. Yeah, he's out, says Julie. Not sure if I've seen the news. Regards to what? I know Dubai has taken some hits, sadly, from the USA, Israeli, Irani war. Tamira, you are truly funny, hilarious. Really appreciate your video too. Cool, adorable, honest, 100%. Yeah, I've got nothing to hide here. I'm as transparent as I can possibly be. And I'm not working this case in any way, officially or unofficially. I'm simply reporting on this case, and things change daily. Things get corrected, names get corrected. The sheriff said this, or he said that, and then those things, you know, come out corrected, and he says, oh, I never said that, and as I've stated, did you hear that? Bob Hope Airport. If I wasn't live, I could tell you where that flight is going. Yeah, there's a war on. Rather talk about the Nancy Guthrie mystery. Me too. Pretty cool to hear about it from a PI. Well, see, this is up my alley. YouTube is, I'm not really good at YouTube, but I'm, you know, I had a very successful PI career. And I have very specific thoughts on where this case is going. There seem to be rumors that they're close to having something break. I hope that's true, but you know, I heard that last week too, like, oh, they're close, they're close. Even President Trump, who I don't care to speak of, he mentioned 3 weeks ago, like, that the FBI was very close. That's 3 weeks later. Nothing's happened that has been announced. So, yeah, so far nothing has panned out with the DNA that they've been testing. Nothing's panned out with any of these gloves that they've tested. I still think that Google is working on securing more video from that house. I do think that the FBI is going through thousands of hours of local surveillance cam footage from Tucson, looking at cars. I think the FBI is looking at license plate readers. I think they're going through a lot of the technical aspects of the case. And you know, the feds, when they arrest someone, if they are arrested, or if whoever is involved is arrested by the feds, they win 98% of their cases. They're very, very meticulous. Hello, Don. How are you? Epic says, can I say something controversial? When I saw the original video of the kids appealing, the son looked weird to me. He didn't even speak. Yeah, you know, I don't like his body language, Epic. Especially when, before they had their car towed by the FBI and they came out and they were all like, ooh, don't look at me. I didn't like his wife's body language when they made the original statement with Savannah. I do know that all of that was obviously scripted. And here goes the next one. I'm doing okay. You can always watch this back on the replay, Don, but you might as well hang out for now. No, I mean, and he's going to be a prime suspect just because he was the last person to see her. He was the person that allegedly dropped her off at her house that Saturday night after she had had dinner at the daughter's house. And of course he's going to be a prime suspect, but that doesn't mean that he's guilty in any way. But yeah, I don't like their body language, but it doesn't mean that they're involved. It could just mean that, you know, when all the dirty laundry comes out, they're going to be embarrassed over something. Has anyone seen this creepy guy talk to JLR? Which creepy guy? There's been quite a few. I remember the neighbor Jason, who turned out not really to be a neighbor. He lived like 20 minutes away. And he seemed a little off. He didn't seem creepy. He just seemed a little off, but I don't know which creepy guy you're talking to. Epic, I'm sorry I came in late. What's your professional opinion so far? It's one of two things, Epic. She was either abducted because of something connecting to Savannah Guthrie, since Savannah's a very wealthy woman and she's famous for either revenge or money, or it's like most crimes that occur in this country, especially involving abduction, kidnapping, or murder. It's involved by somebody very close to her, somebody she knows, whether that's family, a friend, a neighbor. Sometimes it's a coworker, although she's retired. It can be someone in her church congregation. Could be someone that mows her lawn, cleans her pool. Somebody she knows. And the typical kidnapper does not spend at least 41 minutes in the house. Burglars take things and they come usually during the daytime, like 84% of the time. Robbers, they take things too. They come with empty bags, not bags that are loaded up with tools or equipment. They don't leave all the lights on. They don't leave blood evidence at the door. She was bleeding when she left that house. And there is blood evidence in the house, but they're not acting like it was a bloodbath, but there was droplets as we're outside, and, you know, that's not a good sign. And they didn't take her purse, they didn't take her wallet, her cash, her meds, her phone, her Apple Watch, nothing. That's immediately, that's why my mind went, oh my God, this is not what everybody thinks it is. Epic says, that's a good point about the time spending in the house. Never thought of that. Yeah, who seemed really off? Is that the drunk guy that showed up, or the alleged drunk guy? And he was saying that he thought some Arizona lawyer knew where Nancy was or knew who did this, and he like left in an Uber or something. And I originally heard he was detained, but then I heard that wasn't true and that the police were called in and they went to find the car. I don't know. There's been a couple weird people, several weird people that have shown up, including the goth porn star. That's what they're claiming she is. I don't know who she is, posing in front of Nancy's house dressed very inappropriately. I mean, that's totally weird. And then you got the lady that showed up with the amp and the microphone who was singing. Today somebody showed up with a book some type of religious book and handed it to the guy who does the JLR Investigates channel. But I think she meant well. I don't think she was like a weirdo or anything. But yeah, there's a lot of weird people that have shown up. Even the neighbor, Jason, was a little off, but you know, doesn't mean that he's involved at all. There's a lot of weird people in the world. And things like this bring the weirdos out. Epic says, my bet is on the son. Do you mean the son-in-law? Because she has a son that's a veteran in Vermont. Do you mean the son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, or do you mean her son Cameron Guthrie? I'm not a professional, but it seems like he's jilted over a successful sister and wanted money. Oh, do you mean her son? Are you talking about her son, who's the former fighter pilot? Or are you talking about Tommaso Cioni, who is the son-in-law who is allegedly married to Annie Guthrie, the sister? Which son? Let me know. When you said son earlier, I just thought you were talking about Tommaso Cioni, the son-in-law. But I may have misunderstood you. Oh, the man in the video during the statement during... Oh, Nancy's son. Okay, yeah, Cameron. Yeah, he was in Vermont when all of this went down. Christine. Hi, Christine. I think he did it, Tommaso. Well, time will tell, won't it? Because I'd hate to see this case end and they never find her, or they never find who did it, and the Guthries have to go on with the rest of their lives and, you know, try to go back to their jobs and the lives. And, you know, how do you explain that to all the grandchildren involved in this? Like, what a mess. Or there's an old saying, I don't know if it applies to this, what a tangled web we weave. This is a big cluster F, this whole case. And I'm not happy with Nanos. I know he's got his hands full, but there's just certain things that he did right away that I didn't agree with. And I don't care what he says, that certain people have been cleared. The FBI, they haven't cleared anybody. Everybody is a suspect. Any scenario at this point in this case is possible. And I know people criticize him. They're like, oh, well, he should have called in the FBI sooner. Well, he couldn't because they weren't aware of the kidnapping ransom notes until a day or two later. And the FBI doesn't normally come just for like an abduction, missing person, murder, robbery, burglary, whatever it was. It wasn't until they realized, like, oh, this is being presented as a kidnapping. Okay, now we can bring in the FBI. Elizabeth says, I am waiting for the aliens beamed her up and took her away theory. I know. I agree. I keep waiting for someone to come out with that. Christine says, I don't think they will find her. Well, you know, Christine, every day that it goes that they don't, the chances of finding her become less and less. Especially when you're living in an urban desert with just the wild desert around that entire community. Her house, her neighborhood is built on top of an active desert. In another week or so, it's going to be so hot out there. There's going to come a point where there's going to be no turning back with that weather. And it'll be unbearable for anybody to be out there, even the reporters. It's just, you know, it'll be 100 degrees plus every single day for the next 5 or 6 months. So if they're going to go out and, let's say, search lakes, rivers, canals, not that there are a lot of in southern Arizona, and the desert surrounding that community, they better get to it. Especially when you look at the wildlife that's involved out there. And it's pretty hard to take a shovel and dig a hole out in the middle of the desert because the ground is just so rock hard. Epic says, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive, by Walter Scott, an alma mater from my university, Edinburgh University. Small world. Oh, wow. Are you from, are you the guy that came in from Dubai, or was that somebody else? Let me know. I try to keep you all straight, but I've made so many new friends since I started this series. My YouTube channel was just kind of flatlined, and then I started doing this Nancy Guthrie series, and I finally started talking about a subject that I know. And I guess people go, yeah, she's making a lot of sense. Elizabeth, has there been any more communication from the kidnappers? Not that I know of. And some people have come in and asked me, why wasn't the ransom paid? Well, you never pay a ransom without proof of life. That simple. Yeah, I'm from Dubai. I did my master's degree at Edinburgh. Oh, wow. I'm a little bit Scottish. I've always wanted to go to Dubai. We have a daily flight that goes from LAX. But, you know, I'm too old and too disabled, and I have my little fur babies to take care of. But if I could just, like, teleport somewhere for a day, Dubai. And I'd want to go to the Burj Khalifa. I love the commercials. There's an American girl that went up there and did the commercials for Emirates Airlines. And she's married to some very famous skydiver. And she's a skydiver, too. She's a stunt woman, a skydiver. And she's, you know, very popular now because she went up multiple times to the very top. And apparently you take an elevator or a series of elevators. And then once you're there, you still have to go up some stairs. But, you know, you have to physically crawl up a very tight stairwell or a ladder for like another hour. And then they had her all tied down because of the wind. And you can actually see almost the curvature of the earth, like when you're in an airplane, because she's that high. And they had this festival over in Dubai, and they had Air Emirates A380 Airbus fly behind her. And they had to do that shot like maybe 17, 18 times to get it just perfect. And she's holding like the cards up that look like cue cards. It's amazing. Yeah, the Emirates cabin crew at national symbols are national symbols at this time. You know, they actually came and they made an appearance at Dodger Stadium, and I didn't see that. And they threw out the first pitch. If you guys haven't seen that commercial, check that out, the Air Emirates commercial with Nicole Smith Ludwig is her name. Just, that's amazing how they did that. In fact, they had to make follow-ups just to prove that she really did that because nobody believed that it was true. They're like, oh, that's AI or that's green screen, like she didn't really go up there. But she did. And so if I ever went to Dubai, that's where I want to go. Oh, okay, yeah, the Emirates cabin crew are national symbols at this point. Absolutely. Hi, Humble, how you doing? Well, thank you, Amsing. Amsing says, hi, sister, Jesus Christ loves you. I sure hope so. We all need all the love we can get. Yeah, it's a very cool thing. Yeah, if I could just, you know, like Genie, and just boop, and teleport, that's where I'd want to go. Hey, I saw you in the dental chair the other day on the YouTube channel. Epic says, yeah, I was about to say that soccer is big here, and the cabin crew, come out for that too. Emirates sponsors big soccer teams like Real Madrid and Arsenal. Okay. Oh, today sucked? You mean your dental appointment sucked, or today sucked, Humble? I'm sorry to hear that. I've had a lot of sucky days the last 7 or 8 years. How I'm even making it here and doing this, I don't know. But I think it's giving me like a good distraction, and I'm meeting so many new friends, and you know, the followers, the subscribers, they mean everything to me. You guys have become my YouTube family. Yeah, I guess you saw my my announcement, Humble, that I hit 2,000 yesterday. I was actually watching ATC's video, and during his live, I hit the 2K mark. Which, you know, for a bigger YouTube, that means nothing. That's a failure. But for me, it's a win. I'm sorry that your day sucked, or your day at the dental office sucked. Thank you, Tamara. Epic says, I love LA. I can't wait for the Olympics. I remember the handoff from Paris. Love the Red Hot Chili Peppers set. You know, we had the Olympics here before in 1984, and I lived here during that too. Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We got a lot of cleaning up to do before that happens in 2028. We've got too many homeless people living on the streets and have nowhere to go. They gotta figure out a problem for that to help those people, and not just help, you know, our city, but to help those people and get them housed. But, you know, we have more people laying on the streets here in LA than most communities have population. So does anybody here have any information about Nancy Guthrie and her case that I didn't talk about today? Because we don't talk about the same thing every live stream. We just go over the latest. Or today I did a deep dive on this, the lifeboat video. Tamira says, amen. You guys make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Hit the bell icon, click the all, and then you'll be notified anytime I go live or post a video. Thank you, Tamira. Back at you. Well, the Humble Stacker did not answer my question, so I don't know if he's still here. Are you here, Humble? I've got no mods in here tonight. My primary mod is at an appointment right now. She did come in once just to say that she's listening to us in the background. Epic says, California has so many brilliant people and institutions. It's beyond me how they can let people languish like that. Yeah, I know. We're the 4th largest economy in the world. Our economy of California is bigger than the economy of the country of Japan. Oh, thank you, Epic. Feel free to go to the playlist if you're just coming in, Epic. And, you know, this is not just a true crime channel. I have a little bit of everything. I'm a cancer survivor. And I, you know, thought I was going to be gone because I was stage 3, grade 3. And then when I did survive, it was like, you know what? Life is short. Let's make a YouTube channel. And I need my watch hours. I need my monetization. You guys can always check out my channel links. I'm an open book. So if you want to send an email, it's aprildavispi@gmail.com. Those will be kept private unless you instruct me otherwise. And I also have my business address in the main channel page and at the bottom of most of the video descriptions. And I haven't put the video description up yet. I'll have to take care of last night's and tonight's when I go off the air. Epic says, oh, wow, that's really impressive. Which cancer, if you don't mind me asking? No, I don't mind. It was stage 3 breast cancer, which seems to be everywhere right now. Hi, Linda. Where are you coming in from? Linda Sorrow. Yeah, it's... You know, I survived that, but yet I've been struck down from all the side effects. So that's what's been costing me lately. Never was hospitalized once with the cancer, but have been hospitalized 17 times with the heart ailment. You're from the North Georgia mountains. I haven't been there in many, many moons. Spent some time there as a child. Beautiful up there. Are you anywhere near the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee? Tamira says she's in Virginia. I actually lived in the DC metropolitan area, so I'm very familiar with Virginia. Virginia's a beautiful state too. And you've got everything from the big city with DC and the forest, the woods, and the beach. Epic. I am so sorry to hear that, but hopefully things get better. Doesn't look like it slowed you down one bit. It has slowed me out. I'm 99.9% retired. I still have my business is still active. The PI license is still active, but I'm not able to do much. Yes, ma'am. Close by Helena, Georgia. Oh, when I asked you if you were near the Great Smoky Mountains. Yeah, I was there once, well, a couple times as a child, and my dad saw a rattlesnake while we were driving, and he decided to turn back and kill it, which was a very terrible thing to do. But hey, open book here. One of the traumas of my childhood, going to the Great Smoky Mountains and Dad running over the rattlesnake with the car. Because he had seen some hikers and didn't want the hikers to, like, you know, get involved with the snake. Like, what a dumb thing to do. Poor snake. I mean, I'm a grown-ass woman now, but I still remember that. There's some things that just stick with you forever. And that's where we were when that happened. I know that's totally going off the subject of why we're here tonight. I'm here because it's day number 37 of the Nancy Guthrie abduction case. And notice that I'm calling it an abduction. I'm not calling it the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. The best time to come in is when the leaves change colors. Oh, I bet. We are loaded with rattle and copperhead snakes. And where did you say you were, Julie? I think you just said. Type it again if I missed it. I'm sorry. Hey, Vicky and Rico. Welcome in. Dad equals caring and loving, then killing a snake would do a number to an innocent child. No. What is going on with the case? Well, tonight we went down I hate to say it, another YouTuber did a video on this, the lifeboat, and he's a former bank robber, reformed criminal, and he went down the rabbit hole of something called the fetish S cults. It's worth listening to. We talked about it at the beginning. If you didn't see it, you can always go back at the beginning and watch the video. You won't be able to see the chat until a couple days later when that chat processes. And I will get the descriptions up tonight. All the other videos have the descriptions except for tonight's video and last night's live. Oh, Erie, Pennsylvania. Oh, wow. I think I've been to Erie, Pennsylvania. I lived on the East Coast twice, so. Oh, this was your first time. Well, welcome in. I hope you're subscribed, Linda. Oh, okay, Vicky. It's pronounced Andrico. Is that right? Or Drico? Vicky Andrico. It looked like it was Vicky and Rico. Vicky and Rico. Vicky Andrico. You said you had. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Thank you for pointing that out, Julie. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. What's the wildest case you've been a part of, like one that took a sudden left turn? Oh, gosh. You know, somebody asked me the other night what was the most important case or what was the case I was most proudest of, and it's so hard to say. Although I am pretty proud of the work I did for Warner Brothers and Warner Animation, and they made me a Steven Spielberg's Adventures of Tiny Toon. They made me a Tiny Toon. Yeah, I have the cell up on my living room wall. That was pretty cool. Being made a Tiny Toon. Yeah, because we usually don't get gifts for just going and, you know, like how many people get a gift for going and doing their job? You know, you get a paycheck. Well, I don't get it for this because I'm not monetized, so that's why I have all my links up. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a Steven Spielberg's Tiny Toon. And my picture's up there with Babs and Buster Bunny. And that's so funny because I'm a bunny person. You can see my bunny on this channel. I got a real bunny too. I got a couple of my bunnies up on YouTube. And my kitty cat. And I did a video, I did a short the other day, and then I almost didn't put it up. I didn't release it because it was like, the production value is like 0, but she was sleeping in a funny way, and I just like, oh, let me take a video really quick, and then I put a little sound bite with it, and that thing is like blowing up. But, you know, there's nothing to be made on shorts, and it doesn't count towards my watch hours unless I get like 10 million views. So unless it hits 10 million, it won't help me. So, but you can see her, she's so cute. They're doing good, Vicky. They're both sleeping right now, which is great. Because that means the cat is not harassing the bunny. You are a part of the Warner Brothers lore. Pretty cool. Yeah, and of course I've actually got my, I've got one of my shirts on right now. It's funny, I had another Warner shirt on the other day, and I was doing a live in front of the Brady Bunch house, and some guy came up. He's in the video, just a passerby who was bringing his mother as a tourist, and he was like, "Ooh, I love your Warner shirt," but it wasn't this one. And they're all old because these are all like super vintage. Yeah, I don't have any of my Warner stuff from the past because I'm not a medium anymore. So sad. But I like clothes that are this style, that, you know, especially with having a mastectomy and, you know, comfortable. Hello, Kermudge. How you doing, sir? I see you put up a video. Was it yesterday or today about the wolves? I need to see that because I love stuff like that. That's what I love about you guys living where you live in Alaska, Kermudge. If anybody's not watching this guy, Kermudge in Alaska, go give him a sub on his channel. I mean, he's a real YouTuber. He's a professional YouTuber. He makes money at it. Hey, Kermudge, I made like $4 from Cash App this week and 4 separate donations and a $5 Venmo. So my channel made $9. And I appreciate that. I appreciate all those donations. Epic says that's a collector's item. Put that in a vault somewhere. What, the shirt or the animation cell? They gave me a, excuse me, a coffee cup too at the same time, and I hardly ever drink out of it because I'm clumsy and I don't want to drop it and crack it. Or I don't want, you know, one of my animals to like knock it off the coffee table. So and that's a collector's item now. That they give me a little mug to go with it. LMAO, not a lot, dear. I know. And I need so much equipment right now. It's just killing me. Tamira. Yeah, 10 million on a short to get monetized. 10 million views, which I will never have. For you, beautiful, God bless you. There for special reason, so sweet. Thank you, Tamira. Put your info up for the donations, please. Oh, it's on my channel page. It's on the main page. I also have my eBay store linked to it. I have my Whatnot store linked to it as well. If you guys don't know what Whatnot is, it's a live selling site. It's kind of like an eBay, but people do live auctions. And if you're not already a user there, you can sign up for it, and Whatnot will donate $15 into your spending account. And I don't get anything out of that unless you go sign up with them using my code. And then if you buy something, and it doesn't have to be from me, it could be from like thousands of rooms that are in there. If you buy something, once it's delivered to you and you've accepted it, then they put a $5 credit in my account, but it's not a $5 that I can even cash. It's just like a spending credit. They changed it. So like Somebody was watching me probably a few weeks ago and used my whatnot link. I didn't know who it was, and they signed up. They bought something from somebody else, and now I have a $5 spending credit. So it doesn't put any money in my pocket. But, you know, if you guys aren't signed up to whatnot, it's free $15 for you to buy something. Okay, go do it, McCurmudge. Thank you for coming in. Then I also have, you know, I have like the Cash App link, and some people ask for Venmo or Cash App or PayPal. And I also have, and the reason I did it, let me explain. Just let me be very clear. When I was diagnosed in 2019 with breast cancer, a friend of mine, Lisa, who lives in Florida, who I have known since I was a year old, she wanted to start a cancer GoFundMe. At first, I was reluctant. This was just before the pandemic hit in early 2020, and I was still going through this during the pandemic, but she insisted because I had no income, I had no disability. She said, your full-time job is to go to treatment every day, and I didn't realize that 6-7 years later, that would still be my full-time job. And so it's never been taken down. And one of my viewers, maybe a month or so ago, came to me and said, hey, I was checking out your links. I was checking out your channel links, and I couldn't access your GoFundMe. And I was like, really? Like, I haven't looked at that in like a couple years, I don't think. So I went to click the link on my Facebook page, and it didn't work. And so I fixed the link, and then a former client put a donation in there. So I was like, wow, I should put that back up. But the real reason I put it up, because someone who's actually a family member thought that my current medical condition with my heart, I have heart damage from chemo, and I've been in the hospital 17 times since November 2023, the most recent being last Monday, like a week ago Monday. So between 2023 and 2026, I've been in the hospital 17 times for my heart. I've had 4 cardioversions and 2 ablations, and I've since, at a separate facility, had a kidney stone surgery. I was accused of being a faker. And so anytime I introduce myself to somebody, or somebody asks me about those links, or I send a letter to somebody like, hey, I'm April Davis PI, I'm a semi-retired private investigator, I'm a breast cancer survivor, I always put that information in, because constantly throughout my treatment, she added updates. I added a few updates myself. If you watch me on Facebook, you'll see occasional updates. Those are there for reasons, because you know, my whole life is online. I have nothing to hide, and I am who I say I am. I'm a licensed private investigator in the state of California, and I am a breast cancer survivor. So all my links are there. Do not feel that it's necessary to donate whatsoever. Somebody came in and kept saying, where's your cash button? And I was like, you mean my Cash App or my PayPal? And they're like, no, your cash button. And I didn't get it until after I went off the air, like, oh, they were asking for my super chat button. And I don't have that because I'm not monetized. I was briefly monetized about 3 or 4 years into it. And then a couple of months later, YouTube took it down. They wouldn't explain why. I got trigger happy, deleted a bunch of my videos, like delete, delete, delete. Like, I don't know which one it is that they have a problem with. They said you passed the test, but we took you down. So when I deleted and they said, you can get your monetization back, you can reapply in 90 days, a lot of my watch hours went into the toilet. And then I went, oh my God. And my friend Kermudge, who I didn't know then, I wish I had, he has since told me, never delete any of your videos. If you just don't want people to see them, put them onto private mode or unlisted mode, but never delete. So I made that mistake. I'm a newbie, you know. Maybe I have brain damage from the heart failure. Who knows? I've had a crap ton of chemo surgeries. I've had 10 since 2016. That was even some before my cancer. I had 2 before my cancer, and then another 8. That doesn't include dental surgeries or minor skin surgeries. That's like 10 major procedures. And that's not including the cardioversions, which also put me under anesthesia. So if my brain doesn't work sometimes, or I mispronounce a word, you know, just be thankful that I'm still here, everybody. Pray for me. Julie says, I didn't even see it. I'll look after this. Yeah, sure. Just go to the main Facebook page and you'll see, in fact, I can show you the home page. Hold on. So, see, anytime I do this and turn it around, it clicks off. So I got to hold it very, very carefully. Oh, now I clicked it off. I can't do this. I can't literally physically turn this around. And this is a new iPad, and the buttons do not work the same as... Oh. Okay, there we go. Now it wants my code. Put the code in. Okay, I'm going to try it very, very careful. That's my main page. See that? And you see all the tabs? Up at the top, there's a description. And it says, private investigator, reseller, treasure hunter, animal lover, breast cancer survivor, and proud Angelino. Bunny and cat mama. Tune in for news stories and more. There's something here for everyone. And then it says more. And right beneath that, you click that button, you click that, and it'll show the links tab. That's how you find me on eBay, whatnot, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and even the GoFundMe. Even if you just want to go there because you want to read the stories from the very beginning, and then you'll feel like you know me, because it's all been out there since I was diagnosed. Well, I wasn't diagnosed until June of 2019, but I diagnosed myself May 28th. So that's, and you always go back to the day that you discovered your cancer as your survivorship date, even though you haven't had your treatment yet. I hadn't had my chemo, my surgeries, my radiation, the cancer drug that I had to take for 5 years. I had over 2,200 days of treatment that just ended October 1st, 2025. And that's all on my Facebook page too. Okay, I saw that Kermudge went out to get some firewood. I think you are truly awesome and really funny. It's so funny. Somebody came in here to Mira the other day and said, are you going to tell me some jokes? And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not a comedian. Oh, hey, Jane. Welcome back. Alam Khan. Hello. Julie Sigwart says she sees. Oh, thank you, Alam. Are you new here? I haven't seen you before, I don't think. Julie says, great, thank you. Oh, thank you for those red hearts. If you also want to put them on the screen, you like double tap. And please, if you're interested in this Nancy Guthrie case, which is why I'm here, I heard about this Sunday night, February 1st, because it had happened in the middle of the night, and it already got out to the media that same day by Sunday evening. And I started making the videos on February the 2nd. And I've only ever missed 2 days. And one day I missed was February 6th because I was having my left kidney lithotripsy at a surgery center. And I was under, the influence of anesthesia. So I didn't go live that day. And then a week ago, Monday, I had a situation with my blood pressure. I thought it was all heart related, but there was more going on. That was a separate issue because of some of the meds that they had taken me off before the surgery, during the surgery, and then I had to go back on those meds, and it caused all kinds of problems in my body. But luckily I was released just a few hours later. But I've been on some very strong antibiotics this week, and I look forward to going off them tomorrow. Tamira says, wow, that's incredible. Amazing. God is blessing you. I hope so. I'm so glad I saw your page. Private mode, I had chemo. Never delete. I hear encouragement in your voice. God bless. Oh, well, you're a fellow survivor, Tamira. Welcome in. Okay. What is going on here? I don't understand your message, Alone. Well, thank you for the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on your screen. We've got 18 people watching, and we've got 20 thumbs up. Nice shirt. Yeah, this is one of my vintage Warner Brothers shirts. We just talked about that because someone asked me about something in my career, and I talked about the Tiny Toon that I am. And it's funny because I was wearing another Warner shirt when I was out at the Brady Bunch doing the live the other night on Friday night, and some passerby came up and was like, "Hey, I like your Warner shirt." So that's pretty funny. I love this, and I love baseball jerseys. Well, I love baseball too. Like I'm a big baseball person, and if you haven't seen my recent mail call long form content video, please see that, because I'm doing an experiment right now. I know this is off topic, but I'm doing an experiment with Major League Baseball where I sent them a little bio on myself, and I sent a self-addressed stamped envelope to each team with a little bio. And I know the baseball season doesn't technically start until another 2.5 weeks, so it's a little bit early, but I was like, you know, the early bird catches the worm, and let's send these letters off. And I already got one response, and I didn't expect to get any. And the season hasn't even officially begun because players are either at the WBC or they're still in spring training. I think it starts like March 25th or 26th. It's early this year, which is surprising because of the WBC. They kind of rearranged the schedule. So usually it starts late when they have a WBC year, but this year it's still starting early, even with the WBC still going on. So I got a response from the Texas Rangers. You'll have to see that. I was so thrilled. That meant so much to me. I love getting mail. Hey, Jay. I am live now, but not for much longer. We went down a weird rabbit hole tonight based on another YouTuber. Someone had come into yesterday's show. I think you were here, Jay. And someone mentioned a channel called The Lifeboat. And I checked one of the two videos out today, and the guy's like a former bank robber, reformed criminal, and he goes down a weird rabbit hole with this case, but it was really interesting what he said. And I talked about that. So when I go off the air, if you want to go back to the beginning, go for it. The chat won't upload till a couple of days, though. Tamira says, officially. You know what? I don't have a usual time. I'm not that professional yet. Yeah. I wasn't planning that this case was going to go for 37 days and we would still be nowhere. Any new news? Not that I know of. I know they had some rain showers and thunderstorms there today. And the street is basically empty from all the YouTubers, and it was raining. And I was saying like in another week or two, because next week, well, this week here in LA, it's supposed to be raging hot. I can only imagine that that's going to go to the Southwest. And, you know, pretty soon, like places like Vegas and Tucson and Phoenix, they'll be at the point of no return as far as the heat. And then, you know, I just don't see any searching getting done, any live broadcasts getting done from that neighborhood because they can't park there anymore like the media. They have to hike in, and, you know, you'd be dead before you made the hike, you know, with the heat. It would just, the concrete sizzles and, you know, burns the bottom of your shoes. So I think all those news, you know, those YouTubers and mainstream or non-mainstream, anybody that's going out to that house, you're not going to see anybody after the next week or two because, you know, by end of March, beginning of April, there'll be the point of no return until October. Tamara says, best wishes, good idea with baseball, etc. Idea, cool, t-shirts. You know what? I don't know if I'll get any. You know, you're supposed to send a self-addressed envelope, which I did. But I did say, like, oh, by the way, if you happen to have any, because they don't even have their rosters set yet. They don't know who's going to make it through spring training. You know, some of these non-roster invitees might make it. Usually a couple will make the team that's unexpected. But they don't actually have their roster set yet. So they just have stuff from last year or whatever. So I was like, if you have any old t-shirts, you know, I'm an extra large now. But if you want to send something like that to me, please contact me in advance and let me know the postage cost, and I'll be happy to pay it. But, you know, usually they just send like a sticker or a baseball card or, you know, who knows, maybe a copy of their home schedule. I don't know. But I got my first envelope, Now, the real kicker is the Blue Jays. As you guys know, if you've been following my videos, I have a very, very close friend who passed away, and her birthday is this month. My birthday is next month, and she used to work for for Major League Baseball for the Toronto Blue Jays. She was a broadcaster years ago at the beginning of her career, and every day since she has passed away, when there's opening day, I say, go Dodgers, go Jays. And for them to end up together in a World Series, I mean, just cry me a river. So I sent them a letter too, put enough postage to get it across the border, but I don't have any Canadian postage. So it's not like I can buy a Canadian international stamp online. So I just put the 2 regular American stamps, and hopefully they'll figure that out, that that's not going to work, because, you know, I did state in every letter, like, hey, if you need any money for, you know, extra postage, just let me know and I'll send you an electronic payment. So we'll see. Oh, Jay, I remember you said that. Born in Kansas City, Missouri. So a lifer Royals fan. Yeah, I think they have a cool ballpark. I've never been there, but it's really cool with all the fountains. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Yeah, one of the former Dodgers had pitched there for a while, but he's retired now, Zach Greinke. See, now we're changing the whole show from true crime to baseball. But yeah, I did this baseball experiment, and I sent the letters out on my 42nd PI anniversary. I'm like, what the heck? Let's just send these early. Maybe I should wait, but then if I wait, they'll get thousands of letters, because I'm sure there's all kinds of weirdos that send letters every year. And I'm like, here's all my links. I am who I say I am. And you don't need to send me any donations, please don't. But if you would like to send, you know, something that fits in the self-addressed stamped envelope, you know, please feel free to do so. And because I'm sure they, you know, they have the standard form letters that go out, and they'll put some stickers or cards in. But if you want to send like a hat or a t-shirt, I'm an extra large. Yeah, I'm not a medium anymore, people, at my age and with my health. But I'll be happy to pay, I'll reimburse the postage. I'm sure not too many people are saying that. So I'm going to be interested in what I get back, if anything, from the Blue Jays, since I don't have Canadian postage that I can buy on the U.S. end. And I'm really hoping that I get something good from the Dodgers, because, you know, I'm an Angelino. I'm a diehard Angelino. I've been a Dodger fan since I was 3. Oh, thanks for the little cash symbols, Alam. Thank you so much. Epic says, never understood baseball. I'm sure there's something, but it's soccer all the way for me. Yeah, because of where you live. You guys got the World Cup this year. See, I didn't even know that, because the U.S. were not big soccer fans at all. It's becoming more popular now, but, you know, like L.A. has a professional soccer team. And they used to have the Emirates shirts. When they first like came about, and David Beckham played for them, they were sponsored by Emirates. Jay says, my dad's sister and brother-in-law knew several Kansas City Chiefs back in the 70s, partied with them. Oh, wow. You know, Joe Montana, who was a San Francisco 49er, the greatest of all time, he was a Kansas City Chief. Oh, the Galaxy. That's who Beckham played for, right? And they don't even play in LA. They play like in Carson. And now we have the LAFC. Will Ferrell owns it, and you have Galaxy too. Yeah, I know a lot about baseball, some basketball, some football. So it will be interesting to see if and how the Dodgers respond, and if and how the Blue Jays respond, because, you know, ever since my friend passed, I get super emotional about the Blue Jays. Heck, I can't even watch the X-Files anymore, because before she was famous, that's how she started her career, was on the X-Files, and I just, like, I can't do it anymore. I guess there's some things the grief never goes away, sadly. And I'm not a negative kind of person, you know. Not a crybaby. I'm not a negative. I'm not a doomsdayer. But I guess after you survive cancer and, you know, it changes your life and your perspective on things. Epic handle name. I never understood how a team just picks up and moves. There would be riots in Europe if Liverpool FC leaves Liverpool, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Or all the name changes that the California Angels have been through over the years. Now it's the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And let me tell you, people in LA are not Angels fans at all, even though that's where they started out years ago. I mean, heck, the Dodgers, when they came here from Brooklyn, they didn't even have Dodger Stadium built yet, and they played at the Coliseum at USC. And there was some other stadium that doesn't even exist anymore that housed the Angels. I didn't even know that. Hey, Christopher. Yeah, I was doing another live, Chris, on the Nancy Guthrie case, but, you know, we started talking about health and channel links and baseball and my little Major League Baseball experiment that I'm conducting. And I did a mail call video. You can check it out on my long form, my video tab, and you'll see the little mail call video. And I got my first piece of mail that was baseball related. If the city does not turn out for the team, no revenue. Exactly. Oh, Christopher, thank you for the sub. Yeah, yesterday, Chris, I hit 2K subscribers. And for a big YouTuber, that would mean you're a failure. But for a little non-monetized channel like myself, that's a win for me. Because I started this late December 2020, just because I had survived. And I'm like, you know, I can do this. And I did. And it's had its ups and downs. Yeah, I'm going to keep on going. I plan to. Well, God willing. Because I do believe in a higher power, and, you know, my fate is in his hands. I've only missed 2 shows since this whole Nancy Guthrie case started, and one was February 6th for a kidney procedure, and one was a week ago Monday because I had to make a quick trip to the hospital. That would probably never happen. If that happened, I would fall over and drop dead. When you get the 100K, you get the silver play button. Yeah, yeah, I've got 2K. I don't see that in my future at all, but yeah. Or look at the people that get the 1,000,000K and they get the gold plaque. And there's a guy I watch in Virginia, and he's got like 4 or 5 of those plaques from different channels. And he's like, oh, the silver play button, they've made it smaller now. Like, well, why are they being cheap? But he got a 1,000,000 one, and it's like, oh my God. Like, I mean, he doesn't have a regular job. Like, this is his job. And the diamond one, yeah, is that the 1,000,000 one? The diamond one? Tamira says, 2K, that's great, praise God. Absolutely. Yeah, they do have a diamond plate. Is that the one that's for 1,000,000? Because, oh, it's 10 million. Okay, so the silver one is for 100K. The gold one is for 1 million. And then there's a diamond. I don't think I've ever seen a diamond play button. It's for 10 million. I know there's 116 or 115 million plus channels on YouTube. And there's a very small percentage that you ever hit 1,000 subs. Only a small percentage does. And out of those, less than 1% will ever see a penny. And I did receive 2 checks when I first got monetized, but I quickly lost it because apparently I didn't know what I was doing, and they didn't tell me what I did wrong. And they said, you can come back in 90 days. You just have to reapply, and you have to have, you know, the 1,000 subs and the 4,000 watch hours. And I was like, okay, I'll do my 90-day suspension. But I was so upset that they wouldn't tell me what video that they might have had an issue with. And so I went delete, 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 delete. And I didn't realize that when I did that all my watch hours went into the toilet. It's just like I flushed them down the drain, and I was like, oh my God, that was the dumbest thing I ever did. and I'm gonna have to start all over. Let's see. I've heard about that, Chris, that there's a diamond play button. I'll never even see the 100K play button. And now the plaque, instead of being like, you know, this size, is now like this size. I do have the YouTube metric counter, and I do have a little plaque that when I hit 1,000K, but I had to buy that myself from a private vendor. And it's weird because it has color changes, and the color just changed, and I didn't change that. That's so weird that you would bring these things up, because I had it set to blue. And the other day it started blinking, and I don't have it set to blink. And it was just driving me crazy because it was blinking, blinking, blinking. Even when I turn off my TV, sometimes it doesn't turn off. And now it's just changed to like a reddish pink. So it must be having a wire shortage or something. Hopefully it doesn't burn my house down. You ever tried music reaction? Like making Granny reacts to Wu-Tang Clan and just nod your head from time to time? No, I wouldn't waste my time. I wouldn't be interested in that. But thank you guys for coming in tonight. I've talked way too long. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the red screen, or tap the screen, double tap the screen for the red hearts. Make sure you're subscribed. And for those that ask for the channel links or the playlist, just go to the main channel page. And whoever asked me for the pay button, I realized as soon as I went off the air, they meant the super chat button, which I do not have, and I won't get that back until I get remonetized. So sorry, I don't have that, people. But I appreciate you guys asking about that. And I appreciate all the people that have sent me emails on the Nancy Guthrie case. If you do send an email or you send something to the business address, everything is kept private unless you want to give me, you want me to give you a shout out. A chihuahua stopped your phone. Okay. Yeah, remember, I won't shout anybody out unless somebody says, hey, this is for your channel, or hey, here's a donation, or hey, I sent you an email regarding, you know, everything that goes to the email or to the business address is private. And, you know, if you want me to shout it out, I will. And if someone says, hey, this is for your YouTube channel, or this is for your medical, I keep that separate. And it's amazing how every penny counts. That's why some of these jokers come in. I just put them in a 24-hour timeout. I don't block anybody. Because if I can get that remonetization back every time they come in and they say something, you know, stupid, I will, you know, that'll count as a view. Oh, you have 2 chihuahuas, a Min Pin. I love Min Pins. And a Great Dane. You know, my parents had a Great Dane up in Canada. And its birthday was my birthday. They actually had the birthday. It was April 12th. And I never got to meet him. Or her. It was a girl named Cinnamon. And a very close friend of mine had a Min Pin. Her father had a Min Pin for years. And it was named Morgan after Morgan Fairchild. And I met Morgan, the real Morgan and the dog Morgan. And they're both awesome. And she was the cutest thing I ever saw, the Min Pin. Oh, the chihuahuas. Oh my God, they're so cute. That's amazing. 2 chihuahuas, they're so tiny. And the Min Pin, who's so territorial at times. And then a Great Dane who's just almost like a human. Tamara says, awesome, totally cool. Total sweetheart. Christopher says, want to know the name of the 100 million. Yeah, is that the diamond one? Oh, Jay says we are both Aries. I love Aries. Yeah, my deceased friend's birthday's coming. She was an Aries. Oh, Great Dane is Piper. Min Pin is Diesel. Chihuahua are Toby and Shiloh. Nice. Oh, Tamara says you're an April birthday too. It's the ruby play button? Okay, so then which one is the diamond? Because there's the silver play for 100. There's the gold play for 1,000,000. What's the diamond? Is that 10 million? And then there's a ruby play? I've never even heard of that. Who the hell has that? God, if I had something like, oh my God. I would, not in this lifetime. That's not going to happen. So 10 million is for the... So is 10 million the diamond and 100 million the ruby? Oh, you're really April 1st. That's funny. Oh, Mr. Beast. Which one does he have, the diamond or the ruby? Yeah, isn't he like the world's biggest YouTuber or something? Apparently he did a Whatnot show, and I am a member of that. You'll see it in my links. And I didn't see the show, but it like crashed their site because so many people came in. And I was like, oh, well, I wish I had seen that. He's got nearly 500 million. Oh my God. So does he have the diamond? Well, he probably has them all. The gold, the silver, or the silver, the gold, the diamond, and the ruby. Is the ruby 100 million? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Oh, I can't even imagine. He must be a millionaire. Oh, Jason's April 18th. Christopher says, by the way, I'm going to see you. Going to see who? Oh, going to CYA. I can give you a shout out, of course, Christopher Beck. Wishing you the best YouTube points for your birthday. Absolutely. Jay says, what is so great about Mr. Beast? You know, I don't even watch him. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, I hit 2K yesterday. That's how we got off topic again. We're running out of things to talk about, actually, on the Nancy Guthrie case. Unless there's some kind of breaking news. And I keep saying, like, oh, I'll come back if there's breaking news. But then I'm like, I don't want to not do the live because, you know, pretty soon, all the media out there, they're almost disappeared. I mean, JLR is still out there and Brian Enton's out there, but that's about it. CYA, is that a famous YouTuber? Yeah, has anybody ever heard of this YouTuber that we talked about at the beginning of the show? If you weren't here, it was called The Life Beat. And the guy claimed that he's a former bank robber, reformed former criminal, and he went down that very dark path. I hate to even say these words, but he went down the dark rabbit hole involving the fetish, I can't say the word, cult. And some of the players that are possibly connected to all of that. And it's weird. I still have to listen to part 2 tonight to see what he says, because it's just like, I can't even believe I'm hearing this, but he does make some valid points during his show. But here we don't accuse anybody of guilt or innocence, or everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Epic. Mr. B spends the first 5 years going from 0 to 10K, then exploded. Keep trucking along until the algorithm gods favor you. You know, the algorithm definitely doesn't favor me. But the more subs I get, the more views I get. I just got to get back to the monetization. But even with that, they used to give monetization from day one, so I guess I should have been doing this from day one. And they don't pay you right away. It's like a month or so behind, and you have to have at least $100 in your account. And when people send the super chats and the super thanks and the super stickers, YouTube takes 40% of that at least. So even like last time, I actually had a balance in my account. I'd received 2 small checks, and I have a video on that a ways back. And then there was, you know, maybe 30, 40 bucks in that account, and it just carries over every month until it hits 100. But during that time, I got demonetized. So if, you know, a miracle happens and I get remonetized, are they going to put that money back into my balance that they stole? Maybe they're just holding it for me. Thank you, YouTube, if you're holding that balance. I hope you can put that back into my account if I'm ever monetized. And I promise to be a good girl. I thought I was doing everything right before because my video passed all the checks. I always check that before I upload something. And anything that, you know, because it'll tell you when you're processing the video, like, oh, this doesn't pass the copyright, or this is okay to share, or this isn't okay. I was very, very careful about that. Jay says, I know he's a famous YouTube. Why is he so great? I've seen him on commercials, but don't see the appeal. You know, I don't know, because I don't watch him. And I don't watch this guy either, the Lifeboat. I never heard of this guy before, but he's pretty big. He's like, I think he was 30-some thousand subs. He's the reformed criminal. So he claims. But he made some good points about the cell jammers, or the non-use of the cell jammers, which I'm leaning on that side of the argument. And he has some good info about Derek C., because we talked about this yesterday, about the first person who gets caught in this scheme. They're going to be the one that's going to roll on everybody else. They're going to sing like birds. So they get a lesser sentence. And I don't think he was involved in it at all. I think he just sent the copycat ransom text, and he admitted that he did. Epic. Yeah, that's why people go to Twitch or Rumble. YouTube makes people jump through hoops, and 40%. At least with taxes, you get a military? What the heck does that mean? At least with taxes, you get a military. Yeah, you know, every month I spend money out of pocket for this, and considering that, you know, by December, if I'm still here, I'll be into the 6th year. I hate to think how many thousands of dollars I'm in the hole on this. And I don't, you know, have the up and running business anymore. You know, it's still a business, and everything is still registered, and yeah, I still pay the licensing fees and all that, and I renew the business license too every year. But you know, I'm medically just incapacitated just about. So, but that's something I'll take with me to the grave, is that PI license. But it's cost me a lot of money. This has been a labor of love. There's been no, with those 2 small little checks, there's been no profit in this. And I don't spend a lot of money on this channel, but I'm over 5+ years, I'm thousands in the hole on this. If I could just get that money back, that would be grocery money. So groceries are expensive now. You get something, especially if it's delivered, and it's 2 little paper bags that have broken handles on them, and that's like 50 or 60 bucks. Like, okay, well, how many days is this going to last? And that does not have anything to do with the groceries that I buy for the pets. Because, you know, the bunny, she needs fresh vegetables every day. I mean, YouTube is effectively taxing you. Between federal and state taxes, you get benefits like a military. Okay. Yes, Jay says most are copycat notes, I think. Absolutely. Well, they were from Derek Kalela, also known as Derek Kaea. Those were copycat texts that went directly to Annie and Tommaso. Funny how he had their phone numbers. I mean, I guess they could have been bought off the internet, but yeah. And his band promoter is in the same circle as Tommaso's band. I'm just saying. There's just a lot of coincidences that are all tied in there. Could be a coincidence, but as a PI, I have a very hard time accepting anything that's coincidental, especially in an investigation. Because you'll be out doing a big surveillance for, you know, days or weeks or months, and then you see something, and you're like, oh, look at, what a coincidence. And then it's like, oh, ding, 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 and the light goes off. And you're, oh, no, that's not, oh, my God. And then it just opens a whole new can of worms. It's been a pleasure, April. Take care. I've subbed and hope to hear more from you soon. Okay, come back, Epic. Watch some of the other videos. Just go to the playlist. I got long form content, I got shorts, and I got lives. The lives since February have been mostly all on Nancy Guthrie. But thank you for coming. Stay safe in Dubai. Wow, what a lucky guy living in Dubai. That's just so gorgeous there. It's amazing how that, a few years ago, there was nothing there. And now there's just this huge metropolis and just the architecture, and it's just gorgeous. Sitting on the water there and the Burj Khalifa in the middle of it. Wow, I wish it wasn't so far away. And I could just be a genie and just go, and I would just be there. And I could go to the top of that building and wow. Well, at least there's the internet now. I can see it on the internet, on the YouTube here. But thanks for coming, everybody. Please keep watching these videos. Let's pray for Nancy Guthrie. Let's pray for the Guthries. Even Annie and Tommaso, who people seem to think that, you know, they're guilty, and I'm not going to say that at all, but they were the last to see her, and that's why they've been investigated. But it's been definitely overkill if they're not involved. And remember, the police, the Pima County Sheriff's allegedly still has their car as a piece of evidence in an active criminal investigation. And we're into week 6. I think they had the car by the end of the first week. Think about that. You know, take it as you want to take it. And I will never name somebody here as the person or people responsible, because we just don't know. Time will tell. There will be a lot to talk about if somebody gets arrested or they find her. And we'll keep talking about this, even, you know, if there's a court case, and we'll have to find out how to get court TV, which I no longer have. We'll have to figure that out, because I would like to follow this case all the way until I see her recovered and somebody behind bars. I'll give up on Nancy. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the 2K. That meant so much to me yesterday. And remember, I love y'all. Good night.